It was just a friendly little competition here at the Durango Hills Pickleball Court. Councilwoman Frances Allen-Palenske and her husband Steven versus Councilwoman Nancy Bruni and her husband Richard.
It started off like any other pickleball match.
But it didn't end like any other pickleball match. It was drawing to a close with the score tied, 9-9, when suddenly
There was a serve, and I moved from the back line to the front line, which was probably 4 steps forward, and I planted my left foot. I heard it pop, I felt it pop, and it felt like someone had hit me in the back of my heel with a stick. I had always heard that ruptured Achilles felt like that, sounded like that, so I knew to stop, not try to take another step, and so I just stopped right there and said, hey, I hurt myself.
Steven Palenske, retired captain of Las Vegas Fire and Rescue, accustomed to fighting fires and saving lives, was taken down by a pickleball match. It may sound hard to believe, but according to recent data, it's not that unusual.
Over the last 10 to 20 years, the number of fractures that have been recorded by certain agencies have been dramatically increasing. Some might even quote up to 90% increase over the last 20 years.
Dr. Steven Sanders of Bone and Joint Specialists of Las Vegas says we have a growing population of adults growing in age, but also increasing their activities due to living healthier lifestyles. And one of the most popular sports taking over in the last 10 years, you guessed it, pickleball.
You don't think of it as harm's risk, but as opposed to walking fast for exercise, playing a sport like pickleball where there's stopping, starting, turning, twisting, that does put certain parts of the body at potential harm's way.
Dr. Sanders says when it comes to soft tissue injuries, feet and ankles are particularly vulnerable in sports like pickleball, and they can run the gamut from painful but minor to injuries that could land you in surgery.
In terms of the ankle, there's the routine sprain where the classic, someone says they rolled their ankle, they stepped on the side, and they just sprain ligaments, and those usually self-healing. But the one that may get someone into the operating room is when they tear the major tendon we have in the back called the Achilles tendon. And that tendon, when it tears, can be disabling.
Dr. Sanders says to help avoid such injuries, take time to prepare before each match.
First and foremost, the first 5 are stretch, 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 and stretch. We tend to be impatient, and I've got an hour to do this sport, so I get out there and I bend my knee once here and I touch my toes twice, and then I'm onto the court. That doesn't really constitute a proper stretch.
Furthermore, proper clothing and equipment are in order. Final piece of advice from the good doctor: if you feel like you're not up for a game on any given day, don't hesitate to bow out and cheer on your friends from the sidelines. Just don't stay on the sidelines.
It's good for physical, it's good for your heart, and it's good for the mental. So I think the pickleball craze is great, because if it's gotten someone off the couch who hadn't been doing much for 5 or 10 years, it's awesome.
As for Steven Palenske, he says take that advice. He's an active, healthy 57-year-old man, and still, it happened to him. Now he's healing, along with, by the way, a lot of other pickleball players.
I had surgery a week later, and my ankle was casted up for about a month after that, and then a walking boot, and then on into PT. So I'm in PT now. As a matter of fact, where I go to PT, there are several people there that are nursing torn Achilles from pickleball. So it's somewhat of a mass unit for the pickleball community.
Nancy Byrne here. I hope you enjoyed that story. For more great stories about the city of Las Vegas, don't forget to click on that box.